Evening freaks, I'm here to give you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip, and we're diving back into that great Black Conjunction series where we last left off. We were about to head into Gemini, so we're going to be looking at Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, or loaded third house, okay? Loaded third house, so that would be 3 or more planets located in that third house. They call that a stellium, all right? You could also have one of the big 3 or really strong placement in the house of Gemini, in that third house of communication there. And that could also have a strong influence for you too. So check out your natal chart. If you do not have your natal chart, you can get one at Astrodienst, D-I-E-N-S-T, astrodienst.com. And totally free, not affiliated with them in any way, but they're a wonderful free resource. They got so much to offer there. I'm also going to start doing some videos here teaching you how to decipher your natal chart so you can feel really empowered in that information, because it's such a wonderful tool. So look for some interesting new things to be coming in, all right? I got lots of new stuff I want to bring in on this channel and some announcements coming soon, and I'm very excited. This is a collective read, okay? So do be aware that, there's a lot of people tuning in for these messages. Not every message will be for you, but if you stay connected to your intuition, keep an open mind, lean into what you're picking up, where it feels to fit in your life, and just look at the overarching themes, and I think that you'll be able to connect with what you need from the reading, all right? And the message comes through. As the message comes through, roles can be reversed. It's okay to flip it up and reverse it. It's also okay to interchange genders or, any of that jazz, right? So you really just have to pay attention to how it's speaking to you, because Guru, G-U-R-U, you got all the answers inside of you, all right? And what we're really doing here is we're dropping in, we're feeling out these energies of this great Black Conjunction. We're in the meat of that great Black Conjunction sandwich right now, ending out this long cycle we've had in the dark with a bang. We already had that Sagittarius new moon come in on the 23rd. I'm sure you're starting to feel like, okay, the energy's moving, something's happening, okay, things are opening up a little bit. It's feeling a little bit lighter. It's feeling a little bit brighter. You've been going through some stuff. You've been going through some stuff, Gemini. I think you actually had some things come to your awareness that were going on behind your back. Some stuff started to come to light for you. If it hasn't been revealed yet, I think you're intuitively plugged into this. There's somebody you're suspicious of in your environment. You're feeling like you want to create some distance with this person. You want to create some space from them. Some of you, this is a roommate, or it's a lover. It's somebody you live with. You might be considering a move. You might be considering getting your own digs. You also might be, packing their shit and telling them to call Tyrone, Have him come over, help you pack your shit. Maybe you're like, you know what, I'm going to go out, I'm going to have some fun, I'm going to do me, I'm going to do what I want to do. You can call Tyrone. Tyrone can help you pack your shit. That song coming in from Erica Badu, okay? So check it out. Check it out. It's like an anthem coming through for you Geminis. But I also feel like you're just really tired of somebody's shit. You've been patient. 420 came up on the clock when I said that. So maybe you're dealing with somebody who's like a stoner, and it's like, I smoke, I like herb, but sometimes people can be really unproductive. There's a way to work with herb responsibly, and then there's a way where you just really can become lazy and unmotivated and distracted, okay? That's when it moves more into kind of an addiction. So I don't know if you're dealing with somebody that you feel is kind of like checked out in one way, shape, or form, or if herb has something to do with it. I do feel like communication is an issue. I think maybe this person has been communicating with somebody that kind of sets your hackles up and it makes you feel uneasy in your connection. Like it's 5:11 on the clock when I said that. I feel like it was an unsettling change. You know, for some of you, you found out that your person was talking to somebody that, you know, you don't have good vibes about. And in some cases, it's somebody you've actually had arguments about this person before, about how this person was having a very like kind of divisory influence on your connection and why you felt uneasy about it, and there were agreements made. I think there's some information coming to light for you. You're starting to see some things that aren't quite easy to look at. I'm feeling like a lot of stuff happening in the throat chakra right now. I think you're kind of sitting, you're trying to find the right words to say what you have to say. You don't want a repeat of the same kind of arguments that you've had in the past. You know, we do got another great black conjunction coming up on November 30th. So I feel like this is kind of where you're focusing right now, is how to have this really important communication and, you know, bring to light certain choices that you're making for yourself. I do keep picking up. I was just going to go say, I do pick up this piece about you're wanting to move. You're wanting to move. You need to get moving. There's something about like, I can't sit here anymore. I can't stay here anymore. I can't deal with this person anymore. Like you got itchy feet. You got itchy feet and you need to get going. Some of you don't even care if you have a destination in mind. You know, you're kind of just wanting to hit the road and just go. Just go. There's this real need for space. There's this real need to move into that Sagittarius expansion of being the explorer, the wanderer, you know, just being open to whatever comes your way. I think that you got so focused on things turning out a certain way, and in particular in relation to your relationships for a long time. I think you invested a lot of time and energy too, but you haven't really been seeing the kind of growth, seeing the kind of progress that you were hoping for within the connection. Like you're noticing that as you start to focus more on yourself, as you start to grow, it's only reinforcing that, you know, maybe this isn't, you know, the person for you. Maybe you're meant to enter a new chapter in your life. Either way, I think there's been a lot of questions. And I do feel like communication is preparing to open up. I do feel like there's going to be some kind of statement, but it's really interesting because just as I was saying, like you're wanting to move forward, this 8 of Wands flew out of the deck, okay? And so this is really about getting things moving. And I feel like where you sort of felt at a loss as far as options, like, okay, I get it. I'm ready to move away from these troubles. I'm ready to, you know, get to a place in my life where things feel more calm, where things feel more secure. I'm kind of tired of all the upheaval and the instability. And I also want to bring I feel like a real, like, I want some lightness of being as well, you know, just sort of to feel like you got some breathing room and like stuff isn't so heavy all the time. I feel like there's been kind of like a lot of argumentative energy around you, and that's been a real downer, and it's something that's made you feel really pressurized, because there were a lot of times when you had to hold in what you wanted to say out of just, you know, feeling like you had to walk on eggshells. Like anything you said could be slanted to be looked at in a certain way. Like somebody was committed to misunderstanding you. And so it created a lot of gridlock, a lot of pressurized feelings for you. And there's this need to like blow off steam. I see you doing things and I see you getting some distance and I see you making time for yourself, but it's all kind of based on stuff that, like, you know, it's fun. It's fun and it's social and it has you going out and making new connections and meeting new people and working with that communication energy that's been pent up and held back because you've been, you know, in these challenging dynamics when it comes to, you know, communication with your person, that it's sort of refreshing to get out and get communication going with a new cast of characters, to get talking about new things, to feel inspired again. And because of that, you're finding that as you're making connections with new people, and as you're going out exploring more, getting out there, doing things, just getting the energy moving, instead of being stuck in this place of like needing to figure out this situation that you've had with somebody in your life. It's somebody who's meant a lot to you in your life. I really feel like somebody that you've lived with. So this could be like a lover, it could be a family member, it could be a roommate. But there's been a real like kind of challenging dynamic there. And it's just been about communication largely, like everything's lost in translation. And there's also hidden behavior. There's not total transparency in this situation. And somebody is wanting to sort of move on the sly and look out for their best interests, you know, and they're not really considering how that affects the other person. There's some area where there's been a breach of trust in this connection, 11:22 on the clock. And in order to come back into alignment again, there's really this need to like, you know, meet each other in a place of no bullshit, you know, total transparency. But I do feel there's like moving away energy connected to this. There's some kind of like physical distance that's coming in. There's some kind of move energy. I don't know if there's like this desire to like maybe somebody wants to move out, if it's in the case of a roommate, get their own place, or maybe this is a situation where you're dealing with a breakup, you know, and so you're having to separate, you know, from living with each other. This could also be looking at relationship in a new way and going, well, you know, maybe the problem is we don't have our own space, and that's something that's making us both feel kind of stifled. Maybe we need to really work on building our trust with each other and our connection by, you know, we each have our own place, we each have our own home. And maybe that will kind of shift our relationship. And at least for this time being, maybe we need this physical space from each other to give us that breathing room in our relationship so we can focus on healing ourselves without there necessarily having to be an ending in the connection. I feel there's a lot of creativity going on in how to bring relationships together for Gemini, how to heal rifts, and what kind of options need to be looked at. And there is something about security and a living situation kind of being challenged and going through changes in this regard. I think you're going to see a lot of positive movement, and where it feels like, I don't know how to move forward with this. I don't know my options. I've seen 10:13 and 13:10 on the clock here as I've been talking about this issue. I feel that's important. Maybe something happened back in October that was kind of significant. Maybe there's an idea that came up in your mind that was quite significant at that time. Or maybe you're dealing with a Libra. That could be possible too. Could be dealing with a Libra, or you could be dealing with somebody who's like on the cusp of Libra, Scorpio, somebody who has a lot of Scorpio energy in their chart, or just during this Scorpio season. This is something that's been really coming up for you. But there's something too about letting the past go. I feel like where you've been challenged with this person, there's a need to drop kind of the argument. It's sort of like, okay, we just got to look at where things are at right now in this connection, and how are we going to move forward? And a big part of that involves complete radical honesty, and also just like, all right, we're not going to talk about that anymore. There's too much dredging up old ground, you know, and it creates a problem. Now, I do see here that where there's been the issue is that, you know, it feels like somebody in this connection has really been like ruled by their loins. You know, somebody is very sexually driven in this connection. And at the same time, They want the relationship to work, but they feel like they need something more. Somebody is not satisfied with their sex life, is what I'm getting. And this might cause them to entertain other possibilities. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's had to take place, but I'm getting the vibe of it's like somebody kind of like exploring their options, maybe doing this in kind of a hidden way, like through online communications with this Seven of Swords, kind of justifying it, you know, like, well, I'm not really cheating. I'm just kind of having these conversations in the DMs, you know. It's just flirtation. It doesn't mean anything. But really, they know deep down that if, you know, in the case of a love relationship, if my partner knew I was doing this, they would be really hurt, you know. We do see the Three of Swords comes towards this, you know, this figure walking away with the Four of Swords, you know, walking away from, this is what you don't understand, you know, when there's somebody who's like fooling around or they're being disloyal within a connection, and this applies whether it's in a romantic relationship or within a familial connection or with a close friend, anything like that, you know, when somebody is being sneaky and they're being disloyal, the other person feels it. There's like an energy exchange there. And that energy exchange, what does it rob the person of? With this Four of Swords, it robs the person of a peace of mind. It robs them of the ability to rest. It actually inflicts a lot of psychological harm on another person to be moving like this, you know? And even if you just think like, oh, I'm just having this conversation, you know, we're just shooting each other flirtatious conversations, you know, they just sent me a dick pic. It's no big deal. You know, the reality is, it is a big deal. You know, if you've been in a committed relationship, you know, it's a big deal. If that's not within the parameters of what you two have agreed upon, it's a big deal. And your person's going to feel that, you know, whether you tell them or not. And when I say that, this could be the person on the other side from you, like you're dealing with your partner is like sneaking around, or they're doing something. They're doing something. You can feel it. They're doing something. They got something hidden. They're not telling you about it. There's not this forthrightness there. And so there's this energy in this relationship that's causing complications. And I think that it really does look like somebody is working with somebody else. I do see that this could be within the context of like a financial arrangement too. It could be within some type of business arrangement, some type of project, like somebody's pulling somebody in on the side, because we do have that Three of Pentacles. But with the theme and the way it's coming in here, I got such a strong hit about relationships coming up for you guys, you know, coming up for this Gemini Collective. I almost said Scorpio Collective. So you might be dealing with a Scorpio. There might be a Scorpio on the scene, all right? Something to just be live to, because Scorpios wanted to come in a couple times in this read, which I think is very interesting. And when I bring in the signs, that can be any strong placement, you know, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, packed house, okay? But there's something here that I believe is going to come to light, and that's what's going to shift once this comes to light, you know, with that owl medicine influence. What was in the dark will be seen clearly. I think it's going to influence the action you want to take moving forward. It's interesting too, because I feel like there's a person in this scenario who wants to still try to work on this, you know. There's somebody who's still trying to pour some emotion into the situation. And I do think that they're going to come forward and they're going to try to offer something to sort of make this right when this comes to the surface to be dealt with. But I think you feel like they're kind of stepping to you in an immature way. There's not like the full accountability you're looking for, or really like the emotional readiness to work out the rift that's been caused by this secretive activity. And I really feel it's like a third party interference situation, whether you're dealing with a romantic situation or a friendship, or you've been dealing with some kind of situation on the job. There's some kind of third party interference that's causing distrust in this situation, and one person really feels betrayed by it. The other person feels like they're not really doing anything wrong, but it's sort of like it's the omission, it's what's not being said that's really a problem in this situation. I see you closing a cycle with this Gemini. I do. I think this great black conjunction period for you is really going to highlight that you're ready to let this go. You're ready to transform. You don't want to continue putting time and energy into things that just keep you on this merry-go-round, passing the same scenery again and again and again, and it comes a point where you're like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. At some point, I have to decide, do I really want to continue to sit here, or do I want to start thinking outside of the box? Now, I do feel like some of you may actually really switch it up. There is a choice to be made here. We see that, and this is your card, Gemini, with the Lovers. And I think there's some kind of message coming in. And I think this message coming in, like I said, I think it's coming in from this Page of Cups. Okay, so that is water sign energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Again, that's Scorpio influence. 21:12 on the clock when I said that. 3:3. I think this might be the third party. Somebody who has Scorpio strongly aspected in their chart. There's a choice to make about this person. I also feel like there's this connection with this person too. You really feel like this person can kind of like, Ted agrees. He went, woo! And again, it was 21:33 on the clock when I said that. So there's really intense third party connection here with Scorpio. I think Scorpio is a third party man, and we know Scorpio can be very secretive too, just as an archetype, and Scorpio's got that stinger, all right? So there's some interesting elements in play in this situation, and definitely a choice to be made with the Lovers. I think there's been kind of a lot of glamour casted in this situation. There's been a lot of sort of like weaving the magical spell, and it looks really good, and all that pillow talk sounds really good, and it's very alluring. I think you're going to be getting some kind of message from this person. Again, it's just a Page of Cups. It's small. I feel like it's like, let's break the ice, okay? Let's get the conversation going again. I'd like to meet up with you. I think we need to talk about what happened. You might be feeling really like cold toward this person, Gemini. Okay, this is you here. We got King of Swords. This is you moving into your very like decisive space where you can look at things very objectively, look at them very plainly. We all know air signs know how to go to that place where they're like, hey, if I need to cut it off, I can cut it off, I can vanish into thin air. That's like kind of the quality of air sign collective, okay? But I see you really having a discerning eye when this person comes forward like, I don't know. I mean, do I really want to invest in this with the King of Pentacles here? Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Potentially this person could have earth and fire in their chart. Usually when we're looking at the Knight of Pentacles, we are looking at a situation where somebody's making a genuine offer, like they're really willing to do the work. They're willing to put in the time and the energy. Certainly in relation to finances, somebody who's looking to invest in growing a business. If you're looking into getting into some kind of business partnership, this would be really a good investment with the Knight of Pentacles, because it tends to be hardworking, focused on, reaching the goal, hitting the target, doing what it takes to get there, and being responsible, okay? There's a certain kind of grounded responsibility in this offer that you can count on, and it does lead to wish fulfillment. I see this, and after this, victory with the Six of Wands, success, public recognition, and coming in on the tail of that is the Emperor, okay? Moves into a position of empowerment, and it's really interesting to see this connection, because that Page of Wands, okay, this initial invitation, opening, it grows to this Knight of Cups. Now we have actual forward motion. We're moving forward in emotional matters. And in moving forward with emotional matters, we do see this place of coming into alignment with this Four of Wands. This is celebration. It's arrival. It's a good foundation to build from. I'm kind of getting this impression that because there's been a lot of defensiveness in the past, there's been a lot that you've had to kind of like stand and hold your ground with. Like you've definitely have felt like you've been run through the fucking mill. You're tired, you know, you don't want to keep fighting. This is very clear. For relationships, romantic relationships, or even those that are single and those that are looking for love, I feel like this is a choice to no longer settle. It's a choice to come to a place of acceptance that, yeah, the old way doesn't work. I don't want what I wanted before. I've been through such a growth process. Things have changed so much for me that everything's different now. I need to move forward in a totally new way. And so where you're in an established relationship that's been super rocky and there's been a lot of push pull because both people can't get on the same page, I see you actually arriving at this place of, all right, let's get creative. Like, what do you need to be happy? What do you need to be happy? All right, let's go and do what we need to do to be happy. And let's just take our time with this. Let's not put our pressure on it. And maybe there's also this desire to kind of get your own spaces or create more space for yourselves, you know. So you have an opportunity to focus on yourselves. I think you've both really enjoyed the exploration, and that was sort of an unexpected side effect of having some separation from each other. So there's a way to rework things, but it's different. You can't move forward the way you've gone in the past. 26, 26, double eights, okay? Double eights, that's manifesting a new beginning that actually brings you in harmony with each other, in alignment, you know? But a lot of it has to do with investing in yourself. And this is so important. There's a need to have individuality in this situation. And for some of you, you are donezo. You've had a breakup. You found out about a betrayal and you said, I don't want to work it out with this person. I'm ready to dead this. I'm ready to move in a new direction. And I see by you investing in yourself like that, not only do you come into this Nine of Pentacles, a place of good, solid financial abundance. So if you've been working for somebody, or if you've been working on like a group business effort and it hasn't felt right to you, and you felt like people weren't being honest with you, or maybe people were stealing from you, you know, there's been something that was unfair in the work dynamic, I see you bringing that to an end and going, you know what, I can do better on my own. And you're going to go and invest in yourself, and you're going to head off in an entrepreneurial direction. Some of you are switching your work. You're deciding to put your focus on a more creative line of work. And it's something you really like vibe off of. It puts you in your element. It excites you. You're going to start taking this risk to move in this expansion and say, I'm going to start pulling away from this work that's not really feeding my soul. And I'm going to head in this direction, what's really exciting me. And I'm going to go ahead and take the risk. I'm going to invest in myself. It pays off. I think you'll be recognized for the work you do. You're going to be kind of known as the person who, you know, is bringing something really innovative forward, something that hasn't been done quite the way that you do it, and it gets you a lot of public recognition. I also see you getting kind of like a limelight moment, you know, where people really see what you're doing, and it's getting you a lot of accolades, you know. It's definitely going to support you financially. Finances look really good. And for those of you who are moving, those of you who are moving away from a troubling situation and you're actually doing it with a geographical cure, maybe you're worried about your finances and your security, don't worry about it, man. Your money looks really good. It's like when you take the leap, everything you need backs you up. And where you need assistance, you are going to find the assistance with the Six of Pentacles, okay? There is financial help for you to make this transition, so it's all going to be good. I'm going to do a cut of the deck energy here. We got the Queen of Wands, okay? I do feel like a lot of you are going to choose singlehood. You're owning your fire. You're feeling your mojo. You want to go out. You want to express your sensuality. You want to explore sexually. Like, I feel like you're ready to open that up. You're ready to bring back the fire into the bedroom, you know? And you're feeling yourself. You're feeling good. You might be doing a little bit of a makeover, having a glow up. I see you really just heading into this independent energy. And a lot of you Okay, Gemini with this Queen of Swords, which is Air Sign Collective's card. I feel like a lot of you are going to choose to leave the past behind, leave the heartache behind, and move forward to invest 100% into yourself. And it's the best thing that you could ever do. It leads you to your new beginning, that fresh start, and the Ace of Pentacles. You'll really see it in the spring when it all pops off. Invest in you. You can't go wrong.